welcome to episode 77 of Movies and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Marcus.
And this is the review show that reviews genre movies from the beginning, sometimes.
That was so bad you want to do it again.
Why?
It just sounded like a mess.
So?
Okay.
Today we are covering the 2011 release of the animated Green Lantern Emerald Knights movie.
It's Knights with a K because they're knights, and it would have been nicer if it was Knights with an N because they'd be like Glen, Glenn. But no, that's Gleck.
Why would what?
So I write down as abbreviation in my notes as Glek. It's like, oh, it could have been an N for Glenn.
Who cares?
I care mentally, TJ.
They're knights, they're not in the night.
I mean, they're technically the night, I guess, right?
Huh?
Is there night and day in space? Ooh, who will know? All right, I'm sorry.
No, it's just a vacuum.
I know.
Anyway, this movie was animated. We're going to do animated because was outsourced to like 3 different studios by Studio 4 Degrees Celsius, which we have encountered before.
Yes, we have.
In the Batman anthology. Because,
yeah.
Spoilers, this is another anthology. Only this is not done by different studios. It's done by one, well, I say one studio, but it was outsourced to 3 studios. So, but 4 Degrees Celsius, JM Animation, and Studio Perot?
Harriot's? It's a French name, isn't it?
Yeah. It was directed by Christopher Berkeley, Lauren Montgomery, and Jay Olivia. I don't know why I needed 3 directors, but okay. But it was written by 1,000 people for some reason. Because it's an anthology.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you answered come on, TJ.
Yeah, I forgot already. It's written by Eddie Berganza, Ellen Burnett, who is famous in comics. Todd Casey, Dave Gibbonson, Michael Green, Mark Guggenheim. Jeff Johns is also another big name in comics.
That's Jeff. I guess that's Jeff, huh?
Yeah, Jeff Johns. And Peter Tomasai. It was produced by Donald D. Line and Greg Berlanti, who did the CW stuff. And
Lauren, yeah.
Lauren Montgomery. It stars Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Moss, Jason Isaacs. Why does that name sound familiar? Who is
Jason
that?
Isaacs? He's the Patriot. He was in Lucius Malfoy.
What's the most recent thing he was in?
Oh my god, I can't tell you, man. Peter Pan.
That's the recent thing. Was he in a superhero movie? Maybe that's where I know him from.
You know, Iron, or the guy who played the newer Alfred, Jeremy Irons. What TJ know this guy in? A superhero movie? The Boys.
Oh, that's exactly where I know him from. Okay.
The Butcher and the Diabolical TV show.
I knew that name sounded familiar. All right, so that's Jason Isaacs, Henry Rollins, Kelly Hu, Roddy Piper.
Why is that? I know that name.
He's a wrestler.
Yeah, who the did he play?
Bofunga.
He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he died.
Yeah. You know where I know him from?
They Live.
Well, that too. And he was also, he did die. He was in a show, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He played a wrestler in that. But yeah.
I was like, oh, no wonder.
It's upsetting.
So, Arnold Vosloo? Tony Amendola? Is it Amidala, like Star Wars? Or is it Amendola? Steve Blum.
Where are you? Are you in the casting down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Blum is a famous voice actor that everyone probably knows from anime. Gray DeLizzo. Michael Jackson, but not that Michael Jackson.
You think you would change a name with a name like that, right?
Peter Jessup, David Kaufman, Sunil Malhotra, Andrea Romano, Jane Singer, James Arnold, Bruce Thomas, Bruce Timm, who's in like all these movies, Mitchell Whitfield, Wade Williams, and Gwendolyn Yeo. Yeo?
You did better pronunciations than I could, TJ. He was in Avatar: Last Airbender too. He was Commander Zhao.
Didn't see that movie.
The show.
Well, a voice actor, I still don't know who you are by your voice. Yeah, TJ. Because you're putting on a voice.
He was Lucius Malfoy in most of the Harry Potter movies. That's all I got for you.
Anyway, this movie is hour 24, and...
Have you seen The Patriot? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help you fit a name to the guy's face.
Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the bad colonel in that movie, the bad guy colonel.
You said The Boys. I knew who you were talking about from The Boys.
I know. But I'm trying to, I think he was another superhero movie, but I can't find anything else. Dragonheart.
Like, I only recently started recognizing actors what they're in. I don't know if they were in movies beforehand.
That's insane to me. But that's fair. Okay, I'm sorry for distracting you. Get back to it.
I got through all the credits.
Okay.
I guess we'll go into technically the box office here, even though it's not a box office. This one made $3 million in DVD sales, $2 million in Blu-ray sales, for a total of $5 million.
Holy crap, TJ! That's a lot of money.
Not in comparison to the other ones we've done.
I know, but it's a movie. Made money, I guess.
Well, that was your
My
segue.
cue.
That segue into the box office, if you have any.
I really want to do any box office this week.
I don't know. You do it every other week.
I know, TJ. Well, next week we're doing the other one, and that's somewhere on this list I can't find. What's it called again?
Green Lantern.
There it is. There. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's low. So I guess we'll do fudging number 35 to 30. I think we did that already, so I'm not doing that one.
No, we only did the top 20.
Have we?
Yeah, because the first week was 15 to 10, and then last week was 20 to 15.
Okay, so I guess we do 35 to 30.
I mean, I don't care what you do, but I'm just telling you we didn't do it.
But, okay, so 35 is Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo?
Yeah, gnomes. It's an animated kids movie with gnomes.
I think I might have heard of that, but I could just be the name.
Yeah, they made sequels to it. You probably know of it. At number 34, Paranormal Activity 3.
Okay.
Yeah. At number 33, Horrible Bosses.
No idea what that is.
Kevin Spacey's in it. He plays a bad boss. So
I figured that was the name of the movie.
32, Battle Los Angeles. It's a
No
sci-fi
idea.
action. Aliens invade Los Angeles in the world. It's a movie. 31, Just Go With It.
No idea.
I think it's Ashton Kutcher, maybe. It's a bad rom-com. Oh, it's what's his face? Sandler. And at number 30, Bad Teacher.
No idea.
Yeah, just
Is that in the same universe as Bad Santa?
No. It's Cameron Diaz being a bad teacher.
Okay.
That's the best I can explain. She's just like a lazy, I don't give a shit kind of person. That's it.
I mean, bad can be interpreted in many ways, so...
Well, she didn't do anything like illegally bad. Oh, nothing heinous bad. Let's say that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the box office, I guess. I feel this week we were kind of like lackluster this week.
This is all your fault.
My fault.
Yep. Boo. Behind the scenes.
Was there anything behind the scenes?
Not really. There's the animation style for this movie was used a bunch of times in other media, like when they brought in Green Lantern stuff, so they tend to like this animation for some reason.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay, but nothing special.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Two of the stories of the anthologies were based on Alan Moore stories, and Alan Moore is not credited in those stories because he doesn't allow his name to be associated with any adaptations of his stories because he's a crotchety old man.
Well, yeah, what's his reasoning behind that? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, because he hates comic books now. He hates mainstream comic books, and he does a lot of commentary stories now, how heroes go bad. Like he just said that people, I'm not quoting, this is like around about what he said, it's not exactly, but he says the worship of superheroes these days is what's going to lead to fascism. He's just a crotchety old man who hates superheroes now. I mean, he was screwed. He got screwed a long time ago by DC.
Yeah.
And he's just never let it go. So,
I understand it. Like, so the more I do these reviews, so I get more like him. Like, superhero goddamn shit.
Like, I get it, but he's just a crotchety old man.
I respect this old man.
Like, he's the guy who did Watchmen and stuff like that. Killing Joke, I think he did too. So, but yeah. He's just, get off my lawn, kids, essentially.
He gives kids apples for Halloween.
Yeah,
so they don't come back.
That's the feeling I get, though. I don't even get, like, when people, it's like, people are just being insulting, like, superheroes are stupid and stuff like that. You shouldn't like superheroes, they're for kids or whatever like that. It's like, shut the up. But for him, it's like, I get it. You're just miserable.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not going to get into it. I don't care.
Okay.
I have no hot take on it. It's like, I get, like, if you don't like it.
Yeah, no. Nothing wrong with don't like it, but, my issue's not with him. It's with other people who, like, try to shit on other people who like other things.
Yeah.
Like, superheroes are for kids and stuff like that. It's like, shut up.
They are for kids, though, TJ.
Yeah.
What grown person reads, /watches, or listens to anything about superhero movies? That's all our fan base.
Yeah, us.
I do it because I have to. It's not by choice.
I mean, seriously, liking superheroes is on par with believing in a religion.
Wow, TJ.
It is. Like, today, Greek mythology is known as mythology, but back in the day, people believed in that stuff. So it's like, it's literally liking superheroes and being into the stories is no different than believing into a religion. And I wouldn't be surprised in 2,000 years from now if superheroes were seen as a religion among
Oh,
us.
God, I would hate that. I'll be dead by then, obviously, but God, I would hate that so much if reincarnations are real and I came back to that.
Just
The
I'm not
religion of,
saying
like,
I'm
people
not
worshiping
gonna
Batman, like, come on, guys.
I'm not gonna sit here and say it's going to be a religion. I'm saying the future generations are gonna believe. Oh, this is what they believed in.
I mean, although, like,
And it'd be like Greek mythology. It's like, oh, this is their mythology.
I mean, it is, though, like, when you think about it.
Kind of, except
Because people
people
put
are
their
killing people over it.
Well, yeah. But like when you look at comic books, people put their beliefs into it and their preachings, moralities, and whatever they're going to put into the comic books as a story arc or messaging. So you can easily use this as time capsules. Look at we do it with the '60s already. Like how that was not the Hays Code. What you guys have for comics? So, like so they couldn't have sex, nudity, and drug references.
Oh, the Comics Code Authority.
Yeah, so we kind of have that already. So you can look back then, like, oh, look how sensitive
I
it
like
was.
how you say what you guys had as if I was around in the '60s.
No, you guys, as you're a comic book fan, you have that. I'm the movie guy, so we had the Hays Code back then.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying, as you guys. Yeah. Wait, were you born? When were you born? Okay,
not in the '60s.
We did this last week. I know. You were born in the '70s.
Nope.
But yeah. So I think we were kind of ready to have that going on of like seeing the viewpoints change from like there was AIDS man and whatever to like how it's more how better it's handled now for the most part. So
yeah. But like, there isn't no like stories other than like superheroes. It's the common mythology. You know what I mean? Like, I guess like for an example, in the early 1900s, I guess stuff like Lovecraft and Poe and stuff would be our mythology from that time period.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
That's fair. I don't know how we got on that tangent.
Because people are stupid. And they like to make fun of things people like.
Makes them feel better about themselves.
You're only allowed to make fun of something when it's bad.
No.
Yes.
That's subjective. Bad is subjective.
Yeah, and your opinions are wrong.
See? That's all subjective.
No, that's just a fact.
Okay, when it comes to art, it's all subjective. Yeah, there's bad art, I guess, but like still like if someone likes it, you can't like really criticize them too much for liking that bad thing of art.
Sure I can, because they have bad taste.
No, they like this thing.
Nope, they're just wrong. Nah. Alright. Anything else?
Yeah, let's finish this review because I don't want to do this any longer.
Finish? We didn't even start it.
Exactly. We're done, guys. See ya.
This is the 11th movie released under the DC Universe animated original movies banner. So,
man, that's a lot of jumbled words together.
I read it word for word.
I know you did. I know, but I'm saying like the DC Universe animated original movies. Like, God, that's a breath to say.
DCAOMU, I guess.
DCUA. Okay.
DCAU.
Yeah.
I guess it would be DCAU1, I should say.
What about animated DCU?
No, doesn't sound good because that's the whole point is to have the letters.
ADCU?
DCAU sounds better.
DCAU.
It just flows better.
It doesn't matter anymore, I guess, right?
No, this is a defunct universe. So, All right. So let's go into the movie itself. But beforehand, I always have trailers. Well, mostly.
What do you have trailers of?
Green Lantern.
Oh my God.
And I've never even seen a trailer to this movie until
the live action one.
Yes.
Okay.
I never even seen a trailer, and man, it looks bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not good.
It looks bad. Like, even the special effects look garbage.
Yes. Like, I get the idea of making a suit animated, but it's not good. It doesn't hold up. It didn't hold up then.
I had a trailer for All-Star Superman.
We saw that one, right?
That was the last one that you liked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not a bad movie.
It's so sad that you actually really praised that movie and loved that movie, and you don't even remember what it is.
We've seen so much movies, TJ. And all the names of these movies are so similar to each one. I was like, I don't know which one we're talking about. I gotta see it visually.
Also, I had a trailer for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 on Blu-ray.
Boo.
I had a trailer for the DC app and that MattyCollector.com again. I don't know why they're pushing that so hard, but... And then I had 2 animated cartoons because I have the Blu-ray and they always give you like a few cartoons on it. But usually it's from like the Batman animated series or Justice League or, Superman. This time it was from Batman Brave and the Bold.
Really?
Which is weird because we were just talking about that.
Yeah. That's weird.
And I have really never seen many of them, Batman Brave and the Bold. But the first one was The Siege of Starro, Part 1. I don't know what that had to do with Green Lantern, but okay.
I mean, Starro's, I guess, intergalactic, right?
Yeah, but he's more of a Justice League villain than he is a...
So is, I mean, I guess Green Lantern's Justice League plus intergalactic, so
but
they kind of figured.
It would be, but like the plot doesn't have any Green Lanterns in it. It's Batman.
It's their idea of like how we can get Batman into this fucking DVD set.
It's Batman.
Bizarre logic.
It's Batman teaming up with Booster Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Booster Gold is?
Is he like a fast dude or something like that, or no?
Nope.
Speedster? No.
Not even close. He's
a kid, right?
No.
Okay, then no.
He's from the future, and he came back and he was like a janitor in the future, and he stole time machine stuff and came back to the past so he can use his knowledge of the future to become rich and to be a superhero. He's kind of a goofy kind of character.
Okay.
He teams up with him, Firestorm. Do you know who Firestorm is?
Nope.
Wow, you don't know anything, do you?
I don't care about superheroes, TJ.
So that has nothing to do with it.
So I don't know much about superheroes. I know Batman's bad, and that's it.
Firestorm is... how do I explain Firestorm? He is two people merged into one.
Oh, is he the doctor and someone else, or no?
Yeah, essentially.
Professor? Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not always a doctor and someone else.
Okay.
It's sometimes, like in this iteration, it's a genius kid and his football coach for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it always a kid and an adult?
Not always. Sometimes it's two teenagers. Sometimes,
yeah. Gotcha.
So he teams up with those two Bwana beasts, which I'm not going to lie, I had no idea who that was.
Is that a chick?
No, it's a guy, an African superhero who in the Brave and the Bold was apparently married to superhero Vixen. I had no idea who he was. And apparently he's a big part of this episode. And Batman teams up with those three and Shazam. Which in the series it was Captain Marvel still. I'm surprised they got away with that, but okay.
Yeah, that is shocking, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the second animated feature I had is Brave and the Bold. It was called Revenge of the Reach, where Batman teams up with Blue Beetle and the Green Lantern Corps to take on the Reach, which are alien guys who you know the Reach?
Uh-huh. It was in one of the, I think it was like in season 2 or 3 of Young Justice.
Okay, good. Then I don't have to explain the Reach to you.
Nope.
And if people who don't know who the Reach are, they're Blue Beetle. They're the Jamie Reyes Blue Beetle villains. They're connected to his Scarab.
Yeah, so. It's cool stuff. I like this. I don't mind that story arc to a point.
Yeah, I mean, I do like to focus on the Jamie Reyes Blue Beetle because the Ted Kord Blue Beetle is more of a comedy character. He teams up with Booster Gold a lot.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's all the trailers and animated stuff that I got.
Woohoo! And I watch my stuff on HBO Max. There was no trailer.
Yeah. Well, you have the box office. I have trailers. That's our thing.
That's fine. I'm not guessing. I'm saying that's why I don't have any. Just letting the audience know.
Yeah, I own the 2-disc Blu-ray and DVD Green Lantern Emerald Knights thing.
Wait, there's 2 discs to this movie?
Yeah, one's the DVD version, one's the Blu-ray.
Why?
I don't know.
Like, why does that exist?
They have a lot of those.
For this movie? Who's like, I need the 2 disc of this movie? I can see like a good movie, but this movie?
Well, it did make $5 million in sales, so someone must have liked it.
Yes, but like...
when I went to buy it, this is the one that came up, so that's what I bought.
Oh, man, I'm surprised. I'm surprised by that. Yeah, I can see if it was like a double feature or something. It had this one. What's the other one we watched before this? Was
All-Star Superman.
Which one? No, the other Green Lantern one.
Oh, First Flight?
Yeah, I can see if it had that and this or something on it, but just this movie, 2 discs of that, that's
I don't understand why the 2 disc things, like why people would want a DVD version and a Blu-ray version in the same case. Like, I can understand buying separate cases if you're a collector.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if it's in the same case, what difference does it make? It's the same thing on there, right? Except maybe there's different trailers or something.
Different formatting a little bit and stuff like that, and like obviously clarity.
Well, what you just watched a better version?
Exactly. Like, oh, I have a Blu-ray, so I'm going to get a Blu-ray. I don't want the Blu-ray and the DVD.
Yeah,
Like I don't, or if I have a DVD, I'm just getting the DVD. Like I don't want the other one.
yeah, I don't know why that's a thing, but
Yeah, there must be some kind of tactic and like, or maybe they have so many DVDs in surplus. Like let's just get rid of these things in 4 weeks. Just I don't know. I don't know. It's bizarre.
maybe. But I also got a digital copy code
My
for this
God,
movie
I'm
too.
gonna piss
So
myself. Stop. That's just like I may be busting this movie's balls, but I'm so for physical media. Like definitely buy shit like this, guys, because that's how you guys keep your shit. But it's like this movie.
like I want to reiterate, I don't think this movie is terrible.
Neither do I. I don't think it's a DVD.
I just don't.
Blu-ray.
But I don't get it for any movie. I don't care how
Yeah.
much you like it. I just like if it's in the same case. It's like the reason why you get two separate versions of it is so you can display both cases. You know,
It's true. It's because I have Blu-rays that have, like you said, the DVD version. Like I don't need that.
yeah. Like I said, I'm never gonna watch that version of it. The
No.
Blu-ray is gonna be better.
If I need to watch that version because my Blu-ray's broken or something, but oh well.
Yeah, I guess that's why maybe it's a backup.
I don't want a backup of lesser quality
But
though.
honestly,
Like let's put two Blu-rays in there. So.
honestly, in this day and age, you're not putting a Blu-ray in. I'm doing it because I just like physical media, and I also like to see what trailers and stuff are on the DVD and stuff. So
I do like the idea of downloading your movies, like how they give you that code. But my issue with that is there's like Vudu and there's like some other one, like the Warner Brothers have one that they, so there's like 3 different companies that do it. So you have to like have 3 different accounts. There's not one place you go for all your codes. And it's just a pain. I don't like it.
yeah, and if the service is closed, then you don't have those movies
Yep.
anymore.
Yeah.
So
Again,
like,
so buy the physical copy. That's where it's at.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a collector at heart, so I'm more tend towards physical media anyway. But
I can't do that anymore. Collect. There's just so much content now, and so much like.
You have to disassociate and not specialize. Well, specialize kind of, but like focus on certain things. That's how you collect these days.
I can't do that. Like I can't collect Star Wars movies anymore because we have all the spin-offs and all the shows. Like
there's only like 9 movies,
and then you have the side story movies like Solo, Rogue One. But then you have the live action shows.
That's an extra 3 movies.
Then you have the action shows. You have
but I don't think the shows get released.
If they probably, I'm willing to bet Disney. I mean, you think they would have to, right?
Well,
I know
no,
they sell Clone Wars and Rebels, but they have to sell.
They haven't sold any of the Marvel shows. They're
weird.
exclusive to the streams. Exclusive to the chain. I mean, I think they released WandaVision, but that was it. Everything else is exclusive to their streaming service.
I'm looking on Amazon. Yeah, they sell. Okay, there is a Mandalorian seasons 1 to 2 4-disc Blu-ray set. Although it says currently unavailable. Yeah, they sell them.
Well, maybe it's just superhero stuff. Captain America. Oh no, it's Falcon and Winter Soldier, right?
I was thinking so. Yeah, yeah.
Because last time I looked at this, they didn't have them. Well, maybe they do. Okay, maybe they are selling them now. I know back. I would know when I was looking for them before, they weren't selling any of them.
They do seem hard to find now, I'll tell you that.
No, you say that, but I just typed in...
Well, I'm looking for Loki right now.
Well, I got a 4 DVD bundle of Falcon, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Moon Knight, and Loki.
Okay. But see, I don't want to keep buying. I see some shit now.
I guess they did. I know there was a thing where they're like, we're not releasing these on DVD and Blu-ray and stuff like that. This is just going to be exclusively to it. But I guess they decided, that's stupid.
I think that's just bad for business because I think you'll sell more stuff if you make more product, right?
It depends.
Yeah, I guess it does depend.
If you make the stuff and no one buys it.
No, but like if it's a good show like Loki, people like it. I wouldn't want to be just exclusive to people. But then again, that's how you get people to come to your website. So I don't know. I don't know what the best business tactic to that is. So let's get into the review.
I'm just... Because now I'm not... Maybe that wasn't...
Unless some of this is like... fan-made stuff I'm seeing. Okay, season eBay. Our Disney Plus shows. Let's Google that.
Yeah, because now I'm not finding it at all. Maybe because I don't think maybe that wasn't what I thought it was.
Unfortunately, per TV Line, there are repeatedly no plans to release current or upcoming Disney Plus MCU shows on Blu-ray as of now. So that's MCU shows.
That's just Blu-ray though.
Well, I typed in Blu-ray because that's the most relevant of the physical media. What DVD?
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
seeing it at all now.
Yeah, they don't plan on releasing the Marvel shows at all on DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah.
This is from an article released in 2021. So maybe it's time we released this episode. Maybe things might have changed, but
yeah, like I said, I didn't think they did.
But they have the Mandalorian on DVD. What's the other one? Kenobi, let's say. Kenobi.
Like, I know why they're doing it. They just want to push people to Disney Plus to force you to do that.
Gross.
So, like, we're not going
to... I'd rather watch it illegally. I'm sorry. So I hate streaming services. It's too much content out there. I just cannot. It's good for business. It's good. It creates jobs for people, but it's too much. It's too fucking. But yeah, I get it.
That's exactly why. So maybe down the line when they're like done with all this push for their thing,
that's never gonna happen, right?
You know what's gonna happen. Like when they're done with whatever phase this is, they'll release it all in like a $200 box set. And
God, gross! But you're so right.
Force you to buy everything at once.
Yep. And they'll probably sell it only at Disneyland or World. So
it'll be something stupid like that. It would be overpriced and
barf. That's what capitalism does, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That depressed me. Can we get the reviews? I can be somewhat happy.
Okay. All right. Let's get into Green Lantern Emerald Knights. All right. So we open up with a green, what is it called?
Lanterness?
Yeah, it's like green,
logo.
Like green logos of like DC and Warner Brothers and stuff like that because, Green Lantern. And then we open up with, what was her name? I wrote it down. Arctanian?
I call her Red Shirt.
Arctanian, anyway. She's a Green Lantern. A no-name Green Lantern created just for this because you can just create Green Lanterns in any medium you want because there's a million of them and no one will care because half of them are just here to die.
Yeah.
And so she's circling a sun, which seems even infeasible for a Green Lantern ring, but whatever.
You can't bring DJ. You can't bring realism into this. You can't pull a Marcus. Come on,
she's
DJ.
Like right next to the sun.
She's a f***ing Green Lantern, dude. What they do later with the sun is more unrealistic. There's a person in the sun, DJ.
Yeah, but he's like an ancient god or whatever. Oh, that's different. He's like an ancient god, but like, so she's flying by the sun, and Kilowog, who's a Green Lantern, we'll get to him. He's like this alien, like
bulldog
purple guy. Is talking to her over the thing, and she's suddenly attacked by shadow mantises.
Yeah.
And so they attack her, and every time they touch her, her shield kind of fades out. The green shield around her fades out. And I'm going to do this again. Like, okay, the shield breaks. She should automatically be burnt up by the sun or sucked into the vacuum of space there. But whatever.
It's flying in space, TJ.
Yeah. And these shadow demons, because they're shadow demons, they attack and they murder her pretty brutally for a PG movie.
I wrote that in my notes. That's a pretty brutal murder. Holy shit.
Like, they tear her to pieces. Yes. And, like, they have her arm floating in space.
You know what's funny, though? Like, you're critiquing her being close to the sun. My ass, whole self, wrote it in my notes. So there's sound in space then, huh? Because she's talking on the headset and everything, and the guy's yelling to her. Like, how that works. So I guess I can't be too critical, too, I guess, huh?
So, I have an explanation for that. They're inside, the green shield inside of her is like an atmosphere. So.
Yeah, but no, as soon as she dies and her ring goes off her finger, or it's like on her finger, you can still hear Chloe like yelling to her. And her shield's down at this point. Like, she's dead.
You're right.
So it's like, dead. Why is he yelling? It's no sound in space. So yeah, this movie's not space accurate, guys.
I mean, the movie with space cops that fly through space with a ring. So...
I'm glad you brought up. Hey, here's my biggest rant for this movie. So now you said the trigger word for this: space cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
Galactic space cops.
Mm-hmm.
Why are all these movies so boring, TJ? Like, you would think galactic space cops would be so fun to watch, of all different species and entities, and just.
You want to know why? I can tell you why.
Why?
Because Hal Jordan sucks.
I don't think it's a Hal Jordan thing. Like, I think he does suck. I'm not going to defend Hal Jordan. He's terrible. He's a boring character. But also, like, why aren't they all humanoids? Like, why? It's always the same kind of combat. There's no inspiration in these movies.
There is no creativity in the way they use the rings.
No.
It's just very unoriginal.
Yeah, they use energy blasts or they use hammers. Like, use your imaginations, guys.
They need like a Jon Stewart or a Kyle Rayner.
They need writers on acid writing down our ideas because these movies are so ungodly
Like
boring.
this is, but to be fair, this is very early. Well, not very early Green Lantern. This is how to explain this.
Well, Sinestro is still wearing green, so
Right, that's what I mean. It's early
yeah.
Green Lantern as far as like comic book lore go, but this is like Green Lanterns have been around forever,
Ugh,
essentially at this point. So it's like in universe they're an old organization, but this is like the first iteration of Green Lanterns.
I hate it.
And it's the first iteration of Green Lanterns because of the stupid movie coming out.
Yeah,
So
yes.
this is definitely a tie-in movie, kind of.
It can't be because when you watch the movie, like,
Well, no, I know
uh,
this is just a movie. Like this is definitely a movie geared towards
introducing.
people who are really steeped in Green Lantern lore, like who really are into the lore of Green Lanterns. This is a lot of these stories are from comic books,
Yeah.
and like this is like, oh, this is an adaptation of this story, and this is this story, and stuff like that. And if you got to be really deep into the lore, I had to do a lot of research to get caught up.
I don't know. I guess I don't get the fan base of this because I don't get how he could be in such a lore heavy, like, how can people like this guy and the storyline so much?
Like I like Green Lanterns. Green Lantern is very hit and miss. It depends on which Green Lantern you're
Oh,
following.
man.
Like Hal Jordan is super boring,
Yes.
but there's a point in time where he goes crazy and starts killing Green Lanterns and collecting their rings.
And I don't mind that. I guess I still feel it's boring though. I just feel like like this premise is a good premise. Green it's space cops. That's galactic space. That's awesome. But just how they execute it, I feel is just like
Yeah,
don't give a shit.
you also have to understand this is a movie adaptation, and movie adaptations are usually inferior
I
to
guess.
the comic books, and people just they always focus on the wrong things. And like I said, going back to John Stewart, John Stewart's an architect, so his constructs are more creative, and stuff like that.
But then
Ky-
like
Kyle Rayner's an artist, so his is more abstract and stuff like that. Like there's the lack of creativity here. Like they just, like you said, they usually just use their rings as guns, boom, 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 and it's kind of like
it gets boring.
boring.
And like, and also like, I don't even care about like the creativity that much. But what about like just like watching? Because again, all the combat's the same. Let me throw a punch and kick. How about we see some interspecies combat styles and just it's just so boring. This is so
Well, that
boring.
comes back to a lack of imagination.
Yeah, I think from the writers, like I just think how many
Like,
humanoid
but
species
like,
can we focus on?
how would you write a different combat scenario?
Have different kind of species. Like, okay, this Green Lantern's water based. This Green Lantern's like a fire based, and just combine this shit. You like that's just the biggest elements right there. This Green Lantern can phase in and off. You go X Men with it, I guess, like that. I don't know. You could like just they have powers and they have rings that encourage more powers. So it's just I don't know something. It's just like it
I
gets
think
repetitive.
I think they were limited in their storytelling process here because they
Yes.
were like 5-minute stories.
Ugh,
You know what I
I
mean? So
guess. But like the world one we get to later. Spoiler. Like that's okay. That's something. It's like Green Lantern, little world, living planet. That's something I can watch. I guess a little bit. Even that got boring, but like that's inspiring. Then we get just like humanoids again. Like I don't care about all these people.
I mean, there's different. I don't know what it's called. There's like a square jelly person.
Follow his story arc. Make him interesting. Like let me see what he can
He's in
do.
this. He's in this movie.
I know, but like, do we follow him? Do we see what he does?
Yeah, he uses the ring.
I didn't pay attention enough. I guess we'll get to it, but I don't know.
Like there's a square jelly man. There's a guy who's just essentially a giant head.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Still human. That's still humanoid. He's got
I don't
four
know.
limbs.
It feels like you're nitpicking here because it's like they're all Green Lanterns, so they're all trained in the same way. Essentially, they
And
use
that's
their
fine,
rings
but
in a
like they can
certain
also
way.
bring
But
on their own.
that's like saying Captain America is born because he only uses his shield.
No, because he's a one entity. He's one person. Now, there's an army of Captain Americas who recruit from around the world. Sure, incorporate the different fighting styles.
Well,
Like,
the different fighting styles are their constructs.
and that's boring. They get. I don't know. It's just something about this. Like I feel like this should be the Green Lantern should be more fun and more interesting than it is. And it's just like never.
Like this movie
fun to
isn't
me.
that this movie isn't fantastic, but like Green Lantern's always been hit or miss for me in general. It always depends on who I'm following. But the basis of the Green Lantern story has never really been space cops. It's just kind of a backdrop. It's more of indomitable will and overcoming fear.
Sorry. I guess I'm cynical. I guess like I
Yeah,
don't
you
know,
are.
man. How
You're
often
a
can you do
little.
that? How often can you do that via versus?
And you can do that a lot because it depends on how you tell the story.
I'm sorry. I just don't. It's not intriguing to me at all. It's a boring concept.
All right, whatever.
That's my rant. One of my rants probably. But yeah. So
Yeah, the Green Lantern gets killed, and then we have the shortest credit scene ever as we get the title, and that's it.
perfect.
And then we go into all right. So we open up with this girl character. Her name's Arissa. She's a problematic character.
Problematic? Why? Is she underage, TJ? She's like 12 and they have relations with her or something?
Well, they don't show it, and it's all right. So we open up with Arissa, and she's going into the meeting, and there's apparently they're having a meeting. They're evacuating Oa, which is the Green Lantern homeworld, and they're discussing it. And they're gonna start setting up barriers around the sun and start what's the word I'm looking for? Patrolling it.
And why are they patrolling it?
Because of the evil god Krona that's inside of it. He's an ancient Green Lantern. I want to say Green Lantern, really, but he's like fought the Justice League and stuff.
He's cool. I like the concept of him. Give me more of that kind of shit.
Like honestly, he was around as long as the Guardians were, which is like the beginning of time.
Okay.
And in the comics, he was became like an unstoppable immortal god, and the only way they stopped him was by imprisoning him in the realm of death. But that created a paradox to have a mortal living being in the realm of death, which opened like a portal or something and allowed death to pierce our veil and start intervening in our realm and stuff. It's a long history.
That's awesome.
But back to Arissa. So she's a problematic character, not in her own right. It's just because the writers are gross, but you're right on the money.
Shocker.
She was 13.
Oh my god, I was being sarcastic, TJ. Gross.
I actually think I've talked about this before.
Sarcastic. I think you might have, yeah.
She had a crush on Hal Jordan.
Yes, we did talk about this.
I don't think I went into detail, though. So she had such a crush on Hal Jordan that she used her ring to age herself up, to make herself older.
See, hold on. They can have time to, like, figure out loopholes of why he can have intimate relations with a young girl, like, unknowingly or /knowingly. But they can't think of fantastical things, TJ. Like, this is why I hate, like, this kind of shit.
See, but the movies aren't analogous to what the comics is. There are a lot of creative things that happen in the comics.
I hope so. But, like, why waste your energy trying to, like, this 12-year-old needs to get boned down. This 13-year-old needs to get boned down. Let's age her up somehow. Like, don't waste your energy with that, man. Like, just give me some fantastical space shit.
I know. That's just why I said she's
my fucking DC Comics shit.
This is why I said she's a problematic character, and I don't know why they decided to do it this way, but so she aged herself up. And then Hal Jordan and her were in a relationship.
Gross.
Yeah, it was gross. And that's all we need to say about it.
Did they have kids?
I just want to no.
Thank God.
No.
No, hold on. Now I have questions. So she aged herself up.
Uh-huh.
Like, was it like
it wasn't intentional? She like wanted it so bad that her willpower in the ring kind of aged her up.
So kind of like Big. Was it reversible, or was she like, okay, she's 20 forever now? Like, how's that?
That's funny that you mentioned that, because like she aged up like legitimately to like of age, her mind and everything else, but eventually her mind regresses back to a 13-year-old and stuck in the adult body. So
why you write that? Why? Like, what's that for?
I don't know. It's gross. I know. That's why I just wanted to bring it up and get it out of the way, because she is the framing device around this entire movie, because the other Green Lanterns, mostly Hal Jordan, are going to be telling her stories about the Green Lantern Corps and stuff like that throughout the rest of this, with this backdrop of Krona, them patrolling the sun and going Krona and stuff like that.
There's some comics. That's why people make fun of comic book people. Like, the story arcs, like why is that's so unnecessary. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they're patrolling the sun, so they're moving everything off of Oa. I don't know why.
Because I guess he threatened that planet.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it is. That they're just taking precautions for Krona, but it just feels like a plot point so that they can do the thing they're going to do later.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of called it later in the movie. Like, okay, he's this size, and then they get into this thing later. Like, they're gonna do something like by throwing something at him, and I thought to myself, that's too outlandish. And then they did it. Like, oh wow, okay, movie.
I mean, it's what you wanted, though. It's
Yeah.
outlandish.
No, trust me, I wasn't like upset about it. Like, I just called that. Like, I want more stuff like that in the movie, more outlandish shit.
Anyway, so now they're all charging their power rings, all the Green Lanterns, because they're going to move the power battery. Because if you don't know, the Green Lanterns, there's a giant lantern battery that everyone gets their green energy from. So, and as they're in line, Arissa is talking to Hal Jordan, and Hal Jordan starts kind of spouting gospel. It felt like
Yep.
Green Lantern religion here, which was kind of odd, like the Book of O in Chapter 3, and like I've never, I mean, the Book of O is a thing, but I never really, like, but then again, I haven't really read early Green Lantern, I haven't even read recent Green Lantern stuff, so maybe it was a big thing back then. So Hal Jordan starts telling the origin of the Green Lanterns, of the first Lanterns.
This took longer than I expected. It's like, what's going on here? Like, I thought it was going to be a
Yeah,
quick flashback. Like, oh, this is a thing they're doing. There's dialogue in
yeah.
this.
Yeah, no, this is the first of 5 stories, I think it is.
Yes.
And this origin completely made up for this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I did kind of enjoy the origin, but it was like, it's predictable.
Like I couldn't find anything on it, on this origin. Like as far as I know, the origin is not this. It's I was gonna try and explain it, but I was thinking about it. It's like overly complicated. It's dealing with the dawn of time and the first Green Lantern ring, and it's like no, we're going too deep into DC lore with that crap.
Yeah, if we need to go over, we can go over it in a live action movie. We don't need to go in this one.
Right. So we open up this story with the Dominators attacking a planet. Do you know who the Dominators are?
Sure.
You don't know who they are. They're just an alien race. There's a big DC crossover called Invasion where they invade Earth and stuff like that. They're just one of the main intergalactic species. They're like the shapeshifters from Marvel. What are they called?
You're asking the wrong guy, TJ. I know you're talking about. Like, I don't know.
They're like the blue guys and stuff that shapeshift. You've seen those movies,
no,
though.
but not the new ones. I stopped at the end game. They introduced them in, I guess, the Miss Marvel movie. But yeah. I didn't watch that one either, so.
Oh.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget what they're called.
The things they cat the whole time, so I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, they're in Marvel. There's the secret invasion thing where they were impersonating all of the superheroes. I don't remember what they're called. It doesn't matter. It's their equivalent. Let's just go with that. Anyway, Dominators are attacked and so the Guardians of the Universe create 4 power rings, and they're gonna. I don't know why they stopped at 4. But
yeah, right. I guess they got tired or it was getting weak, but they just stopped at 4.
It's 4, and so they decided to gather all the world's warriors and let the rings have minds of their own, and they choose who they're gonna bear. And so they choose 3 people. They're just different alien species. One's like a amoeba, giant amoeba, and then but the 4th ring chooses not a warrior, but a scribe named Avra, I think they called her.
I think so.
Yeah, which was surprising. But they're trained a little bit as Green Lanterns by the Guardians. I guess the Guardians decided to train them, and they send them off to get murdered by the Dominators, essentially, who are like a million Dominators on the screen.
What do you expect? Like, how cocky do you think you are in making something? Like, let's handle this thing.
Yeah, so they're fighting. So the 4 Green Lanterns go and they're fighting, and they get their asses kicked. And so one of them gets murdered by the Dominators, and now there's only 3 Green Lanterns left. And then so they're like, we have a choice. We can either die or run. And then the Amoeba Green Lantern's like, you guys run, I'll buy you time. And then Avra's like, no, I'm going to stay and we're going to fight. And he creates the first constructs because at this time they're only using green laser blasts or something. So this is, creativity. And then Avra becomes like the master of the rings and teaching future generations how to use have the rings and stuff like that. He uses a Kamehameha wave at one point.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then Hal Jordan says, he passes on the ring and his ring gets passed on. And of course, the first Lantern ring was eventually passed down to Hal Jordan because, he's the greatest Green Lantern. whatever.
Oh, he has it?
Yeah, you didn't see it at the end there?
I was not paying that much attention.
Yeah, when he's finishing up his story, it says Avery passed on his ring to a new disciple, and then they passed on through the years, and then eventually it gets to Hal Jordan, who has the first Green Lantern ring, because apparently he's the greatest Green Lantern.
Is he, though? Is he?
That's what the lure wants us to think, even though he's terrible. So we're back at the power battery, charging the rings, and Hal's finished his story, and then, wow, I'm blanking on his name. Kilowog. Yeah, Kilowog's like bumps in the door and says, "Is this the new guy kid?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Don't worry about this battle. It's coming up because boot camp's going to be harder because Green Lanterns have a boot camp." And then Hal Jordan says, "Don't worry about Kilowog. He's a soft guy compared to the old drill instructor." And then we get our second story called Kilowog. We're introduced to Sergeant Deegan. Sergeant Deegan is also created for this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This is the scenes of the movie. Again, anthologies. I'm not a fan. We talked about this off mic. I'm not a big fan of anthologies because a lot of them are just weak stories and like there's like one or two highlight stories in the whole movies. But that's beside the point. This is what made me like not really care about the characters, and it's too earthly. It's too like human. It's like, okay, boot camp is just like our boot camp. It's not really spacey. It's not nothing fun about this to watch.
I mean, training, you would think it'd be across anything, though.
No, because like there's so many planets and species, like,
Yeah, but they would still need to be trained.
But like differently. Like I don't like why do they like why like how do like all the training methods come down to like Earth training style? That's why I just can't get like my suspension.
I don't think throwing people into an active volcano and in this swirling whirlpools of sand is Earth training.
It's like Marines. Like we don't throw them in an active volcano, but we do throw our like top notch people into like crazy conditions. Like,
and then how would you do it?
I don't know, but I'm not the writer for these movies.
But that's my whole point. There's always, doesn't matter what race, if you need to get better at something, there's going to be training in some sort.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it could be more mystical or more like bizarre. It's just like, okay, strength, endurance, and teamwork, which is good. I get that, but it's just not enough.
Which no matter what you are, you're gonna need.
Yeah, no, I get. Trust me, I get that. I
just don't understand your nitpick on this one. It's like
it's just watching.
I don't think this is an Earth thing. I think this is just a fundamental thing.
But like, I don't know. It feels earthy. It feels like Earth writers wrote this.
The stereotypical drill sergeant, is very earthy, but like the training itself, I don't feel was stereotypical.
Oh, I felt so stereotypical. They're doing a rock climb right now. Like, I don't know. It's all things that you need, I guess.
They're trying to climb out of an active volcano so they're not melted. They're not training there. They're just trying to save themselves.
How's that training then? You're not learning any skills. You're trying to survive.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing.
But they're not learning anything. They're not learning any fundamental techniques or like fighting stuff. They're not learning. I guess over time they'll learn shit. But like, I don't know. This feels pointless.
Well,
it's so pointless.
This is also like put them in the dangerous situation so that when dangerous situations come up, they don't freeze. They don't.
Yeah, this doesn't do anything for me. This didn't do anything for me. But I get what you're saying. Like
I'm not gonna sit here and defend this story. I think it's kind of stupid myself, but I just don't think your problems with it are sound.
Throw them into space. Literally, throw them into space because they're always in space. Like, see how long you can hold your breath, or like, okay, you lost your suit. You can't hold your breath. You're turning cold right now. Think on the fly. How do you get out of the situation? Something. Not here's some elements to fight through.
That's what they did. He did that with the volcano.
But like, it's too earthy to.
That's exactly what he did. He took them to a volcano and dropped them in and see how they would react.
Throw them into space, or like here's people firing weapons at you.
He took their rings, and he's like, here, dropped them into a volcano. Yes. That's exactly the same thing as throwing them into space.
No, not really, because space is a whole different element.
But that's what my point is. Then he takes them to a different element, and he teaches and does the same thing.
I just felt so boring and redundant and just like lazy. It just felt lazy. That's all. It just felt lazy.
But like, if you did the space thing, it would be the same thing. You'd be saying the same thing. It's like,
I don't know, but like, if you're Green Lantern writers, think of something fantastical. Think of something like have them fight some wild beast that are just, I don't know, do something besides this boringness. Like, this didn't hold my attention at all. This scene did not hold my care or interest at all. I've seen this 1,000 times just Marines doing it, or whoever else is going to do this. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because
Like,
there's no, again, it's not inspiring. This is nothing
but like,
like,
I don't
oh,
think this is a Green Lantern problem. I think this is just this story problem. You know what I mean? Like the training in general problem.
I think it's both.
No, because if it was, you'd be saying the same thing if it was anything else.
That probably.
Yeah, so it's just a generalized problem and not a Green Lantern
No,
problem you
because that's
have
Green
with
Lantern.
here.
Because we're doing space cops, doing space cop things, and it's like this is
But
your
it doesn't
training
matter.
methods?
It doesn't matter what kind of training they would have done here. You'd be complaining about it.
Not really.
Yes,
If it
really.
was
You'd be like, "Oh,
no.
this is stupid. They're fighting a big monster. Oh,
But
why
if
couldn't
you
they
could like
be in
see the, if
space
you could see it being
or?"
clever, and like it's just not, and maybe because it was rushed. I guess they had to get all the main beats of a dumb training montage into it. I guess.
Well, that's always going to be the.
And that's why it's like it's just short and dumb. It's just, I just can't put the words to like how boring that this is, and it shouldn't be boring. Like this should not be boring. It's space training.
Like, I'm not
Montage of
disagreeing
cops.
that it's kind of cliched and a little boring, but your solutions and your arguments aren't like helping your argument.
I know because I'm not the writer for this. I can't. I personally cannot think of how to make that more enticing, more energizing. But what they did and what they showed me for space cops training is not it. That's all I'm saying. For Green Lantern space
Well,
cops,
that's my whole
this is their,
thing.
this
That's
is not
my
what
whole
you
thing.
do. This is not what you
What
show.
do you do then if they're traded?
Again, throw them literally into outer space and then pitch blackness.
But you'd be
Figure it
complaining
out.
about that too.
I want to like I see them try to solve puzzles and try to work things out instead of just doing.
They did that in the volcano. They did that in the sand pits.
That's all brute strength kind of shit. There was no one doing like, oh, here's some like, I don't know. Here's a thing I know from my space planet. What do you know from your space planet? Cool. Let's intertwine that as a team and work together proper. No, I'm strong. I'll carry us out. Like, okay, cool.
Well, the problem with that is this story is focused on one character.
Yeah, exactly.
And his rise to become the drill sergeant, essentially.
I just didn't care.
I don't think it was bad. I just think it was meh.
It
you know
was
what I mean?
interchangeable with any other one of these kind of scenes I've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it was
that's not
just,
good though.
But it's not bad.
Like, no, because like your argument said before, if something's not bad, if it's just meh, it's bad and wasteful. You said it so many countless times. TJ.
I said that that's worse than being bad.
Yeah,
but
this is worse than being bad then,
but
right?
I would, but that's only from an entertainment value.
Yeah, this is not entertaining.
But that from objectively though, it wouldn't lose points because of it.
I don't know. I'm not taking points away from this, but at the same time, it's just so meh. Like it's not getting anything. It's not getting points on me
I
either.
agree
It's
with
like,
you, but like, when you come up with an argument like that, you're supposed to have a better reason. You know what I mean? Something to replace it that would be the criticism is valid.
Trust me, I know.
You have no valid criticism to counteract what they're trying to tell here.
So I'm not the artist or writer for this.
But that's my whole point, though. Like, you have a problem with it, but you have no way that you personally would be satisfied.
I told you,
it.
put them in space and have like,
but
put them, have them figure out their own problems.
You would be doing that if they had done that.
I don't think so.
I think you would.
No, because that's space shit they're doing. They're literally on planets fighting the elements. Like, okay.
Yeah, which is space shit.
It's not space shit. You could do it on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could literally throw a Marine into the volcano here and have him and his crew try to escape out before they die. If not, okay, we'll find some new recruits to do this too.
All right, but then they went to the sand world pit.
Yeah, who cares? It's like trying to survive rapids. Like, who cares? I've seen this. This is nothing entertaining or new to me.
But you could just say, put them in the middle of a deep ocean and be like, oh, it's the same thing as being in space. Yeah.
So you add some space elements to the ocean. You add some space elements to if the sand pits was like actually eating them, or some living shit was weird in it. And like, oh, I know this from my planet. Their weakness is this and that. And then like over time you show that the strength is like they talk to each other and form communication with each other. They're these cadets. I don't know. You could just do better than what they did to us. That's all. It was just lazy and like, here's this. Let's call it a day. Our budget and time.
I don't know. I don't think it was. I don't say it's lazy. I just think they were restricted with what they had to do.
It's lazy. They could have done better.
It's a 10-page short story.
Yep, they could have done better. That's what I'm saying. Not
with the focus on the character they were trying to tell.
They could have though. They still could have though. Story. That's the thing. The way he was being an asshole to the instructor, like, you're not teaching us anything. You're just trying to get us. I'm like, okay, you could do that, but better. And I know that's not a good explanation of like what I want them to do, but It's not this.
Anyway, I think we went through that entire story in the argument.
Yeah.
So, they go from different planets to do their little training, and Kilowog is getting frustrated with the sergeant because he thinks he's trying to kill them and so forth and so forth. But then they get a call that the Kuns are attacking a planet. The Kuns are just a warrior race of aliens that like to conquer and stuff like that. And
how about this? Like, also, I'm sorry, but it's training camp with your new ring, right? Show me how to use my fucking ring and like be imaginative. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, here's a lightsaber. Go. How do I use this thing? How do I wield it if I cut my arm off? How do I use this thing you just gave me? No. We're gonna show you how to do push-ups and like pull yourself out of things.
Well,
no, I have a fucking ring that's magical shit.
I understand, but like this is also like only one part of their training.
I know, but like I don't care about this part of the training. You gave me a magical space ring. Show me this part of the training. Show Kilowog being a cocky son of a bitch of that, or like I got my energy. I got my. I don't need a ring. I need my strength. And some weak guys like, no man, creativity, bro. Like anything besides climb out the volcano, climb out the sandpit. I'm sorry, TJ. I'm so sorry.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, they go and try and help these people being attacked by these Kuns. The sergeant before they leave though, the sergeant drops Kilowog's ring on the ground and instead of giving them and they all take off, leaving Kilowog like 5 feet behind, which is important because they all get to the planet like 15 minutes before Kilowog shows up. And so the sergeant tells the other guys to protect the civilians while he takes on all these Kuns who kick his ass and pretty much kill him until Kilowog shows up and saves the day. And then after he saves everybody, Kilowog goes down and Sergeant Deegan dies and says, "You're the new instructor now," and puts like a lantern.
What?
He puts a lantern symbol on his thing and in his own blood. He dies, and they're like,
"It's stupid though." Like the newest trainee you have is giving you those headache. I bet there's no other Green Lantern on the force right now who has better qualifications than this guy. Okay.
I just took it. I honestly just took it as no one else wanted to do that job.
Bullshit. Out of the thousands of Green Lanterns they have,
like,
not one douchebag is power hungry like that.
Well, no, they're space cops. Cops aren't corrupt.
Is that see?
I don't know if you could tell by my tone on that explanation. I was like very sarcastic with all that last part of it because this is all stupid. Like, I get what they were trying to do,
but they didn't have the time to do this.
They didn't have the time, and it wasn't like this is a character that you just created for this movie, and it's like, you don't really care.
Exactly. Like, I just don't give a shit.
I wanted to agree with you on some of your things. It's just your points were annoying me. Like,
I'm sorry.
Your arguments made me argue back because I just didn't agree with what you were arguing.
That's fine. That's totally fine. You don't have to agree with all the dumb shit I say.
But like, I agree with you overall. The story was weak.
But I felt that of every one of these stories, besides maybe the last one, and the last one because it's like, okay, that's what they did with it. But like all these stories are like, I've seen this but human version. I want to see just not this human story with like space coding on it. Or it's just I don't know, man. Like, why do I care about these characters just showing me?
So we cut back to the real world, and so they're making a space station out of the Green Lantern rings, which I thought they could only be constructs. Apparently, they could just create physical things with their rings now.
Unless, like,
but whatever.
Like someone actually forced like this concentrating the whole time on that one thing. I guess. No, I don't know.
No, they look physical. It would just be green otherwise. They created essentially a space station, and they're all the Green Lanterns are being called to this area, and we're introduced to a Green Lantern called Lyra, who I didn't know until this movie.
Is she a real person?
Apparently,
a real character?
Yeah, she's a real character. So Lyra, Hal Jordan's like, she might be mysterious, but I went on her side, and so we go into Lyra's story. So on her first mission as a Green Lantern. Just so you know, this story is a retelling from a story in the comic, her backstory from the comic, and really the only difference is that in this is her first mission as a Green Lantern, but in the comics, this was her mission to become a Green Lantern,
Oh, okay.
and that the Guardians actually sent her on this mission to do this mission, but she didn't know it was her father. And this, she does know it's her father.
It would have been better if she didn't know.
Yeah, I thought it would have been better if she didn't know either. But that's how this, like, the Guardians were dicks in the comics. So, but here she's going to her home planet to confront her father, who are killing Kuns unprovoked in space, essentially. We'll get to the backstory in a little bit. So Lyra shows up, and she's confronted in space by her dad's mistress, I want to say.
Yes?
Yeah, I think so. And there's a big fight, and she beats her up, goes down to the palace, and the guards she's like, you have a choice. I'm not here to fight. I'm only here but if you want to fight, we can fight. And the guards are like, fine, you can go in. We don't want to get our asses kicked. So she goes in, and then she starts fighting her brother, Ran, who was like a teleporter, or maybe not a teleporter, but like using invisibility, essentially.
Yeah.
And she kicks his ass. Then she goes to her old room where her father is, and they reminisce about old times. And he's like, give me the ring, and we could be a powerful force together. And she's like, no, I'm a Green Lantern now. I have a duty to be a Green Lantern. And it comes down to a fight, and then she kind of gets her ass kicked by her dad, but she kind of lets her dad take the ring, and dad puts the ring on, and she still controls it, and the ring like envelops the dad and like destroys his armor and stuff like that, and he loses pretty much to Green Lantern explosion, and then he kills himself. He's like, I was never going to get my honor, so he kills himself like seppuku style, and he dies, and she's sad, and she's like, right?
Yeah.
And as she leaves, all the soldiers bow to her, because now I guess she's the new Golden Dragon, which is the leader of this place, and that's it. She goes home.
Yeah.
I actually like this story.
It's the best of them all, I guess. It's the better of them all.
I liked it for two reasons.
Yeah.
One, I like the fight scenes in general. I know you don't like the whole spacey thing, but for some reason, just the animation of the martial arts in this and the fight scenes itself were really good.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's using the Green Lantern ring combined with the martial arts is a fresh take on the Green Lantern, stuff that I hadn't ever seen before.
Yes.
So I really like that. And then I also like the fact that she's fighting her dad while all the memories of their childhood and like her family is like knocked over, crystals and stuff around it. It was a really good scene, essentially. Like how far they have fallen apart and stuff like that.
No, I agree with both things you said. I like how she used the karate and the her fight style in the Green Lantern. I do like the memories falling. I do like all of that. It was generally nice.
Yeah, I thought this was the strongest. It actually got me curious about the character herself.
I still didn't care.
Oh, I know you didn't care.
I just didn't care. Like this, that's all we get from her in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
If we got more of her, like later on, like if she was in Jeopardy later, I'm like, oh no, not what's her name?
Lyra.
Not Lyra. Then I'm like, okay, now I kind of care more. But like, this is the only we get of her. Like, okay.
Yeah, but this was well done, even though it was just a simple thing, but like
it's a grade above the last one, for sure.
So, like, I looked into her, and I'm like, why haven't I heard about this character before? Like, she seems awesome, and it's because she's no longer around. She was killed a long time ago.
Oh, fortunate.
Yeah. She also, all right. So she trained under Kilowog's second in command. It's a hard name to pronounce, so I'm not going to even bother trying. Who was, another drill instructor guy. And eventually a bunch of stuff happened, and he ends up getting killed. And she goes and confronts the guy who killed him, and instead of arresting him, she murders him, and she gets arrested by the Green Lanterns and is expelled from the Green Lantern Corps.
Okay.
And then she ends up as she's being transported to another planet, a red lantern ring crashes through the thing and chooses her as a Red Lantern. And I don't know if you know anything about the Red Lanterns, but they are, all the rings are based on emotion, and the Red Lantern is rage and anger. And if you get a Red Lantern ring, you come almost feral sometimes. And like the Red Lantern ring actually replaces your heart in your body.
That's pretty badass.
And like you vomit like this almost rage like acid stuff and stuff. It's an awesome but like gruesome transformation.
That's fantastic.
And she became the second Red Lantern ever, and then she eventually gets killed. And then there's they mentioned Darkest Night in there as one of the prophecy things later.
Okay.
But in Darkest Night, which is essentially the god of death Necron, pretty much sends Black Lantern rings, which pretty much turns people into zombies, and like all the corpses rise up as Black Lanterns, and she's one of the corpses.
Jesus.
Yeah. So like the Green Lantern has some pretty fantastical stories
Yeah.
in the comics. They're just not really shown in the movies.
They're not. They just do boring shit with them for some godforsaken reason.
They focus on Sinestro a lot.
Yeah, I don't give a about saying that. Every time we see him, he's wearing green, and you know he's gonna turn yellow. So like, I do not care. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's like the big thing they focus on, the whole Sinestro war thing. But I would like to see them do Blackest Night at some point.
Something. Anything else. I just don't give a shit.
Anyway, that was a good little story, Lyra's story. Wasn't enough to save this movie, though.
Not at all, no. How would you rate the first story, by the way? Or do you want to save all that for the end?
No, we should probably just rate the stories.
Probably easier that way.
The origin story? I don't know. I was kind of bored by it, honestly.
The origin? Yeah, so was I.
I was bored by it, and mostly because I'm like, and then there was like the comic book side of me is like, this isn't the origin. What am I watching here? So I think I'm at like a 5.
5, okay. I would probably say I'm struggling between a 4 or a 5. Like it's okay. This is why I don't think I'd recommend it. I'd give it a 5 too, I guess. It's not like offensive or anything like that.
As for Kilowog story, I think I'm at a 3.
I give that like a 2.
Maybe a 4. 3 or 4. I think I'm at a 3 for Kilowog. I'm
surprised.
It wasn't a good story.
No.
It's just like I didn't agree with your disagreements, but it wasn't great.
No, it was just a waste of it's just filler. It was just pure filler. Like, I don't need that in my life.
And then this one, I really like this one, so I'm at a 7 with this.
A 7 on higher?
No, it's still kind of basic.
That's the problem with all these. Yeah. I'm gonna give this one a 6.
Yeah, I think I'm at a 7 with this one, but
they're all just a shade of basicness to them all.
Right, and especially compared to the story that was I read about her, I think they did it better in the comics.
That's fair.
So I think I'm at a 6 or a 7 of that one, but I really did like this one.
Yeah.
So after that, we cut back to I'm just trying to figure out what they did in this little interlude here.
Yeah, because I know the next story is this thing, but I don't know. Oh, it's where they're talking about all the lanterns.
Yeah, all the lanterns show up on the space station, and they're like, in Hal Jordan, they're like, Hal, you didn't tell her about Mogo and how he doesn't socialize. And you're like, what are you talking about? Arissa's like, what's Mogo? No, not Mogo, Balfunga. You didn't tell how Balfunga and how he doesn't and how Mogo doesn't socialize.
Mogo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but they were talking about Balfunga. Yes. All right. So we go into the next story. Mogo doesn't socialize, which is based on an Alan Moore story, which I did not read, but I'm assuming it's pretty close to what this was, except less technology because it was made in the 80s and 70s.
I didn't like the humor in this one.
What, in this one?
Yes.
Like I said, I didn't actually read the comic, but from the synopsis that I did read of it, it seemed like it was mostly a jokey.
I figured. I mean,
story.
The whole twist at the end, I figured that'd be a joke, but the main bad guy was just too jokey, I guess, too cartoonish.
Well, it is Roddy Piper.
That is fair. That is fair.
All right, on to the fourth story. Mogo doesn't socialize. So we're introduced to Bolfunga, the greatest warrior in the world, or so he thinks. There's only one more guy he needs to challenge, and I wrote the name down, but I can't read it.
It's something ridiculous.
Goba Cod, maybe?
Something stupid.
Anyway, he's like a rock monster with 4 arms. And Bolfunga shows up, and he beats him up, and he's about to kill him, and then this rock monster is like, you may have defeated me, but you'll never defeat the greatest warrior in the land, Mogo. He's a Green Lantern, and Bolfunga's like, no Green Lantern's worried about me. And he's about to kill him, he says, tell me about this Mogo. And so he goes searching for Mogo, and he gets... There's no information in the databases because the Green Lanterns, keep that stuff confidential. So he comes to this planet, and he's searching for Mogo. He shows up, and he yells over, a
blowhorn
megaphone, Mogo, I'm here, and he can't find him, and then he scans the entire planet. Still can't find Mogo, but he could sense Green Lantern energy everywhere. And so he blows up several portions of it, and it just heals with Green Lantern energy. He's like, show me the entire planet to his AI, and he shows it a bit. And then the Green Lantern emblem shows up on the planet itself. And guess what? Mogo's a planet.
What?
He's a sentient planet. I knew what this was going into. I've always known about Mogo,
Oh, okay.
so it wasn't spoiled for me. I know about him and stuff like that. He's a big part of the Green Lantern lore. So
Yeah, he sounded familiar to me when I was listening to this, so I had to look him up real quick. Like, oh, it's a planet. So I kind of ruined it for myself. But I've heard of it before. I just didn't remember what it was.
yeah, but yeah, it was a simple little story. And Bofunga, realizing that it's a planet, tries to run away. But his ship gets blown up and he's pulled back down to the planet, and I don't know what happens to him after that. It cuts
I would
away.
assume he dies there. He is like in.
Well, you would assume so, but like he does show up in another story later in Green Lanterns
Well,
in the
yeah.
comics. So
And I guess the Green Lanterns don't kill people, do they?
no, they're cops.
Yeah. So well.
When they but when the Green Lantern goes rogue and kills somebody, they usually like expel them and arrest them
Yeah,
and
so
stuff
maybe
like
he
that.
just held him there until they got him and arrested him properly.
Yeah, maybe that's possible. But yeah, so we cut back to
What would you rate this one?
That was fine. I mean, 6.
Yeah, really? Jeez, you're.
I mean, it was a simple story. It was easy to get through, and there wasn't much to it. I mean,
No.
it was short. It was short, sweet, in and out.
Yeah, it sets up an element for later. So I'll give this a 5. It's like it's a thing.
Yeah. Like I don't know if you'd like to tell. I do like short stories that aren't complicated.
I
So
know you do.
they're just easy watches. And if this was just on its own, it'd probably gotten a 7. But since it's part of this, I'm like, eh.
That's fair though.
All right, back into the main story where the Shadow Demons start attacking because the Green Lanterns are now patrolling the sun now for reasons. I don't know why they don't just stay on their space station, but whatever. They start, and the Shadow Demons start attacking. There's a bit of a fight scene, and then the demons knock out Orisa, and Chrono is coming. So she wakes up and she's in a room with Sinestro, and in Sinestro starts telling her the story about his master Abin Sur, or his friend Abin Sur. All right, so those of you who don't know, Abin Sur is the alien that crashed on Earth, dies, gives his ring to Hal Jordan, first human Green Lantern, so forth and so forth. We open up on a planet where Abin is fighting Atrocitus, who is the first Red Lantern. He's also a survivor of... So before the Green Lanterns, the Guardians created these robots called Manhunters, and Manhunters went on a rampage and started destroying everything in comics.
Why would they create those?
Because that was their first iteration of like space cops, essentially.
Okay.
But something happened and they got screwed up and they start destroying everything, and then so they created the Green Lantern Corps to fight against them, so forth and so forth. But the Manhunters destroyed a space sector, I think it was 666, because they're not creative.
Yeah, shocker.
And they destroyed almost everyone in the sector except for 5 demons, essentially 5 surviving demons, and Atrocitus is one of them. They created their own little, let's just say, cult cabal, and they can see into the future a bit. They can do prophecies and stuff like that. So that's the backdrop for everything here.
I wish we could have that storyline.
We kind of did.
No, more of that. I'm saying I want to see the Guardians f up badly, and then like, whoops, our bad. Let's undo that, guys. And then trying to regain favor in the Galactic Eye. Like that, I would love to see that kind of shit.
In the comics, the Guardians are portrayed as incompetent as hell.
Yes, and I want to see that.
They are just...
I mean, they killed a sector for damn sake. Almost genocide of whole peoples. They
screw up so many times. They get killed so many times. They suck so badly. The Guardians. It's like, whatever.
I want more of that. That's awesome.
Anyway, we open up with Abin Sur versus Atrocitus, and Atrocitus has Abin Sur's a lantern, and they're fighting over for a while, and Abin Sur's got Atrocitus has the upper hand until Sinestro comes in and saves Abin Sur, but then Atrocitus breaks Abin's lantern, and I guess if you break a lantern, it's like the equivalent of a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
So Abin goes and gets his lantern, recharges his ring because it was at like 1%, because that's a big plot point in all Green Lanterns. Oh, my ring's energy level is getting super low. So he recharges, he goes into space, it explodes. I guess he doesn't have a battery anymore. And then he goes down and he beats up Atrocitus, takes him, and he's taking him back to his prison. On the way there, he's traveling with Sinestro. They find a stranded ship. They fix it. They talk about destiny and how Sinestro doesn't believe in destiny, and Abin Sur does. And then they separate, and Abin takes Atrocitus back to Yzmolt, the prison, which looks like a hell planet, to be honest with you. It's a bad place to keep prisoners, if I honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But Atrocitus, as he's being sealed back up in his cell, says, "Do you want to know the future? You're going to die, and Sinestro is going to become a bad guy." Ooh, spoilers.
Wow, who would have thought about that?
And Abin is like, "I'm not afraid of death, and you're wrong. He will never turn evil." And that's the end of that story.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just like, okay. Another thing of filler.
That's pretty much what it was. It was like, oh, look at this. Honestly, it all feels like, here's some information for the movie that's coming out.
Here's information that's important, but we're going to deliver it boringly for the boring movie coming up too. Like, oh my god, I feel bad for people who are fans of Green Lantern. And I was trashing them earlier because these movies I feel don't do them justice.
I don't know. What are you gonna give this one?
Oh, Jesus Christ, TJ, that's hard. I like the visuals. I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, I was in between a 5 and a 4, but I guess a 5 is fair.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, 5 or 4. And like 4 is probably too insulting.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut back to the overarching plot, and since this is the end of the movie, this is Emerald Knights. This story line, because now Corona's gonna finally come.
So this is Emerald Knights. This is what the movie should have been about.
The whole present thing, the framing device is Emerald Knights. Yes.
Why they waste my time?
Because you need to know about the Green Lanterns for the movie that's coming out.
I can see that they're going to be in this end sequence, or like they're all going to be in the next one and like in peril and shit. But like, TJ, come on.
I don't know. I don't know. Are they? I've never seen that movie.
I know Kilowog's in it. That's all I got for you. I've seen the movie one time. Like, that's enough of that.
Yeah, I don't know if these characters are in it. I mean, they specifically chose some of these characters for a reason.
Oh man, they better be in that movie. I swear to God.
Well, I know Abin Sur's gonna be in it because Abin Sur,
he dies.
Because he has to die.
Yeah. He's gonna be in it. Sinestro's in it. Kilowog's
and Sinestro's in it.
I don't think any of the female characters are in it.
Rissa and Lyra.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Mogo in it?
Who the hell's Mogo? No, the planet? No.
The living planet?
No. It's like, why show me all these stories? You're trying to make me like buy me into the Green Lantern. You didn't do well on that.
Anyway, we're back to
cool storyline right now.
The main plot, and they bring up Blackest Night and say, "Oh, this is gonna be the Blackest Night." No, that's not what Blackest Night is. I get it. It was just like, we just name drop here. Look at this. Actually, what was this release? 2011?
This is 2011, yeah. You're trying to see when Blackest Night came out?
Yeah. When did Blackest... 2009. Okay, so it was a reference to Blackest Night. Yeah, maybe I was thinking maybe this would have been a reference to the crossover that was maybe going to happen or in the process of happening.
Oh, okay. You're saying.
Yeah, but no. It's just a nod to it, even though this has nothing to do. So my initial thing was fine. Anyway, so they're there, and then Chrono shows up, and he's like the size of a planet.
That's awesome. It's great. That's the kind of shit I want to see, TJ.
And he's got like what is it, like rings of demons?
Yeah, those things were saying earlier. We called them earlier
shadow demons, or that's their official name, but I called them shadow manta rays. Anyway, so they're trying to fight off Chrono, but, they're getting their ass kicked because there's, like, thousands of shadow demons, and they got this giant in front of them. And then they're like, all right, so Chrono, like, claps his hand and kills, like, 30 of Green Lanterns in, like, one shot.
And the rings fly away. I love watching the rings fly away. Love that shit.
Yeah, it's a good death scene without showing a death scene, just the ring flying away. So... but like they're sort of regrouping, like, what are we gonna do? And then Arissa's like, he's antimatter, right? So let's hit him with matter.
Like, okay.
What does that mean? We're gonna throw our planet at him. What?
That's the shit I want to see, CJ. That's what I'm on board for.
I'm like, okay. I guess that's why we evacuated the planet earlier.
See, it laid down the points what's going to do later. It's a clever movie sometimes.
Anyway, so all the Green Lanterns go to Oa, and they use the Green Lantern rings, and they start moving a planet out of orbit. It doesn't look like it's moving fast enough to do any damage.
No. First off, he can easily dodge it, which he does.
But then, I guess if a meteor crash doesn't have to be going super fast when it's entering the atmosphere to really do damage,
And I guess also, like, once you start moving like an object in space, doesn't it just keep going and going, and does it go faster?
I don't think it goes faster.
No, definitely just keeps moving.
But no, planets have atmospheres and stuff like that. Yeah. So anyway, they're moving the planet, but then Chrono fights back and starts sending his demons to attack. But then Mogo shows up and uses his power to move the planet because he's a planet, you see, and then they all start moving the planet. So my question is about Mogo, and I thought about this, and they probably explained it somewhere. No, where's his ring?
I think at the side of him, probably in his core.
Is it on a tree branch somewhere?
No, it's got to be in his core, right?
I don't know.
The Red Lanterns, like you said, take over their heart. Like it's got to be somewhere inside of him.
I'm not sure. No, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Unless he doesn't have one.
Where is Mogo's Green Lantern ring? Oh, you were right. Mogo's ring is stored in the core of the planet.
Yep.
And apparently it's told him Mogo doesn't socialize in the actual comic. Yeah, there you go.
I'm a smart man sometimes. Makes sense. I'm either a smart man or a bad comic book writer.
Let's go with both. And then, so, yeah, Mogo helps and they all throw a planet into Chrono. And that's enough to defeat him, I guess.
It's dumb. It's like that's
because they push, not only they push him and their planet into the sun, which okay,
there's so much science that's gone wrong here. Like so many things they f***ed up on other planets now because of this.
So I guess it creates a new sun or whatever. But the day is saved, and Arissa is credited with saving the day for her idea. Now she's in the Book of Oa, and then everything's okay. They're gonna live on Mogo until they can create a new planet, essentially. And then that's the end of the movie. The end.
The end. Hey, TJ. Yeah, that's a movie. So what do you think of... God, I hate this movie.
I hate this movie. I didn't need to see this movie.
Yeah.
This is just like one of those movies that, I spent more time researching this movie than I did watching it.
Would you find more enjoyable, researching or watching?
Researching it.
That's not good, TJ.
Like I said, it's like,
Yeah, it's of the 5 movies, your total score for them is 26.
Oh, okay.
Just to let you know. So divide that by 5 is what? 5.5, give or take? 5 point something? 15?
Yeah.
Mine's 23. It was 23 divided by 5. 4 point something. It's about right. That's how I felt for it, too.
You would probably round up or down depending on what the point is, though.
Me, I'm rounding down to a 4.
But if it's like a 4.7,
still rounding down to a 4. Okay, let's see. 23. God, please be like under. 23 divided by 4. 5, right?
Well, 5 times 5 is 25. So about 5 times 4, yep.
4.6.
Yeah, so you would round up to a 5.
So yeah, I give this movie a 4.
He really gives it a 5.
What are you giving it?
Well, I would round down because it's like, I know it's going to be 5.2 or something. So he'd be a 5.
Yeah, this movie's a movie.
Yeah.
I personally couldn't recommend it to anyone. I just couldn't. In good conscience, like, hey, go watch it.
I could if you're really into Green Lanterns.
I would judge someone for being really into Green Lantern, and then you can't recommend them this, and like they'd be like, "Why'd you make me watch that? I've seen and read better stories than that."
Because if to see the adaptations of certain storylines, I think they would get a kick out of. I think they'd get a kick out of Lyra, and Mogo doesn't socialize, and I think they could like Abin Sur too.
I guess. I don't know. Probably, maybe.
And the ending is kind of crazy enough that I would like, okay,
it's kind of worth sitting through.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. So, I can see it if you really, really like Green Lantern.
I never met someone who did, but if I do, I'm not going to point them to this movie. So yeah, that's...
You would point them to this movie over to the other one we're going to cover.
I would point them to the first... I can't do the other one either. They're all so bad. Man.
Yeah, we haven't really had a good Green Lantern movie.
I wonder if we ever will. Oh, that's the review. Let's end this shit.
I tried, but then you were like, kept talking.
You should have said something.
I did. All right, we're done.